recently I did a video yesterday, which has still get uploaded to YouTube, about Blitzo's mother, how she could have died. And I don't know. I mean, I think I should actually do that. I think Blitzo's, I mean, I don't know if I actually... Bull crap on the television. YouTube. Now, I think I'm right. YouTube of how she died. Now, these videos might be coming. I mean, I did two different cameras for this video, and it's all over the place. Like this, that. It's like over here. It's like ping pong. It's like ping pong. Like here. It's like all over the place. Now, I think I'm right to say that I think I'm right about how she died. The problem is, I think people are gonna say you're wrong. Well, I'm thinking it could have been that because come on. I think I'm right how she died. Now, because I'm tired. Why don't you want to say that one word? Well, that's how I think how it happened, but I'm not really sure if it happened that way. But my biggest guess is that's how it happened. How she died. That's just wrong. Now, people think I'm stupid, but you know what though? People think I might be crazy. But I think I'm right though, of how she died. Ooh, this is something interesting I want to watch. Ooh, it's about semis, which I like semis. Where do cab overs go? Well, that's a good question. You still have them.
Hey guys, it's Maddie, and today we are bringing you a brand new series called Big Questions About Big Rigs, where we will answer some of the biggest, most burning questions about all types of trucks, as well as the industry in general.
They still make them,
For the
UK.
first episode, we figured we would feature perhaps the most pressing topic in trucking: why aren't cab overs used in the U.S. anymore? But before we get started,
They still are,
this
but
video was made possible
they're real popular in the UK.
Chrome Shop, jackschromeshop.com.
In the UK they call them lorries.
Be sure to stop by the site and sweep through our fiery hot selection of 4th of July sales, including 10% off bumpers, visors, stacks, and so much more. And remember, folks, if your rig don't shine, you don't know jack.
I don't even own a rig, so it doesn't really matter, does it? They must make chrome for a living, so they must be...
One of the overarching questions in the industry is one we hear time and time again on our channel. Why aren't cab overs used in the United States anymore? The short and sweet answer to that is simple. Regulations at the time, from the years 1956 to 1976, enforced a maximum length totaling 65 feet, including both truck and trailer.
Oh, okay.
In 1976, an additional 10 feet of length was adopted into law, allowing for a now 75-foot total length for truck and trailer. Going back to the beginning in 1956, with an increasing amount of over 75,000 plus diesel trucks driving on our roads, the federal government first started by focusing on regulating the weight and width of commercial vehicles due to an ongoing concern that the weight of the tractors in their trailers caused undue stress to the surfaces over which they traveled. These regulatory rules were part of the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956, formerly known as the National System of Interstate and Defense Highways Act, which mandated the mass construction of a national network of highways intended to connect and completely cover the entire nation. For the first time in history, there would be a set system of roads linking large cities and states together as one unified network. However, as these highways were almost fully funded by the federal government, Congress saw to it that travel on these roads comply with very certain and selective cargo carrying capacities. Consequently, cab overs quickly became the configuration of choice as they allowed for maximum length allowances. This criteria set into law in the late 50s stayed largely the same until the mid-1970s, when changes were then made related almost entirely to gross vehicle weight. These subsequent changes were seen, not surprisingly, in direct response to the skyrocketing cost of fuel during the 1974 energy crisis as an attempt to lessen the cost per load for drivers. Continuing into the early
Reagan.
80s, in 1982, the Surface Transportation Assistance Act started requiring states to permit trucks with trailers as long as 48 feet to travel on both inter- and intrastate highways. As length regulations increased and became less restrictive, the amount of cabovers quickly decreased and diminished almost completely by the late 1990s. The relaxation of rigid length rules ruined the main advantage of the cabover model, which was to carry the maximum load capacity in very little
I know some
weight.
garages are.
Over time, large carriers saw the switch to longer, conventionally styled semi-tractors, causing cabover sales to shrivel up rather quickly. Although the North American market eventually evolved away from the classic cabover configurations, these tried-and-true trucks still saw some certain advantages
In the UK.
that allowed them to continue production in countless other countries, and also maintain a cult following continuing in America to this day. Many of the major advantages of cabover models are caused by their much smaller, shortened wheelbase, which makes for much easier maneuverability. Cabover collectors claim nothing can compare to a cabover when it comes to backing the big rig in and out of loading docks or winding the shortened wheelbase truck through heavy traffic. Such small axes make the truck not just easier to drive, but also safer, as drivers are better equipped with a bird's eye view and able to react to changing road conditions. Speaking of a bird's eye view, another amazing advantage of a cabover vehicle is the visibility, which is vastly better than that of a conventional cab truck. With the trucker positioned on top of the engine, the driver not only has to deal with far fewer blind spots, but is also granted a greater 180-degree view of their surroundings. Another lesser-known advantage of a cabover would be the catastrophic improvements in efficiency and fuel consumption. Because of these traits, the cabover trucks proved tough enough to navigate through even the tightest and most narrow roads, which saw soaring success across seas in Europe and several other countries. Of course, this outdated style of semi still has its fair share of disadvantages and drawbacks, including quite a few common complaints about cabovers. Perhaps the most prominent problem with these cabbies were the inconvenience and discomfort they caused to the driver. We spoke earlier about the severely shortened wheelbase, which allowed for lesser lengths to be used. However, this also caused cabovers to provide a pretty rough ride. Comfort caused a big issue when it came to long-haul trucking and kept many drivers from choosing a cabover configuration. In addition, the incredibly
That's cute.
inconvenient sleeper setup saw a struggle for those sitting in the driver's seat. In order to obtain access to the bunk, the driver would have to crawl through a hole and over the engine. No reaching back to grab something, at least not very safely. Speaking of safety, the cabovers cause several safety concerns as well, due to the fact that the driver has less protection without a long hood to take some of the heat. Although many modern manufacturers made efforts to ensure more structural safety features and also address driver comfortability, in order to increase comfort, an increased price must be paid. As a result, sales started to dwindle down, and as the considerably more comfortable, long-nosed, conventionally styled cabs were almost the same price as their flat-faced cabover cousins. Despite the pros and cons of the cult classic cabovers, most American companies continue solely creating conventionals, while an increasing number of international companies ramp up the release of innovative new cabover engine rigs. Some truckers truly believe there may still be a place in the American truck manufacturing market for the cabover, although only time will tell. Thank you guys so much for watching our brand new Big Questions About Big Rigs series. Before you leave, make sure you like the video, check out the other videos on our channel, and subscribe. We have finally reached our goal of 20K subscribers and are very close to 25K, so thank you all so much for your support for the show. Next stop, 50K. If you have any